Hey,
you guys. Welcome to Live at 5. It's March 16th. I'm Beth Stevens.
I'm Paul and Turk. We had no idea we were going live, but we're live. It's 5.
And we're happy about it. And we are here with Caitlin Gallup.
Happy Friday, everyone.
And a very special guest.
Oh my God, we love Katie
We
Finneran.
love
What's
Katie
not to
Finneran.
love about Katie Finneran?
Two-time Tony winner Katie Finneran
Yes.
from Edward Albee's At Home at the Zoo, which is a great two acts, one acts, two one acts.
2 Albee, 1 acts.
Yeah, there you go.
As a one-night show. As
Correct.
A full
One
show.
evening, 2 acts.
1 evening, 2 acts.
There you go.
That wasn't that. For some reason, we made that a lot more complicated than it is.
That took a long time. It's Friday, as I said.
We're ready for the weekend.
Let's do some news first. What's our top 5?
All right. Everyone, we got new Frozen music today. We got to hear a little bit of something from Patti LuPone.
Yeah, so Disney Theatrical knows how to launch a show.
Oh, sure.
They very smartly, have been releasing some of the new songs because, of course, Bobby Lopez and Kristen Anderson Lopez have wrote a lot of new songs for Frozen.
Like 15 or
and
so.
So they thought, well, and I appreciate this because when you see a new show, it's hard to sort of take in all the music. So I think they were like, yeah, we know Let It Go. We got it. Here are some other songs. So they've been releasing these videos, and we got
like every
a
Friday.
fabulous, really beautiful video. Patti LuPone. It's very drama. Like the videos are
They're very well produced.
they're beautifully produced.
Yeah.
And they and Bobby and Kristen are in it. And then my favorite part about it, at the end, there's randomly an audience. All these people start cheering, and I'm
I
like,
don't
who are
think
those
it's
people?
random. It's
Why
exciting.
weren't we invited?
Oh, that's a good question.
Anyway, check that video out. And Frozen's opening. It must be opening next week because
It is.
everyone's I know all the press people are going to see it this weekend.
That's right.
Except for me.
Except for me too.
Right.
I've got other things I got to see, but
Yeah.
I'll get there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else?
All right, so last night Margaritaville opened to a really, really big fun. Yeah.
Big fun.
Big
Escape to Margaritaville. I like
Yeah.
to say it that way because you're going there.
Yeah.
Jimmy Buffett and friends, Paul Alexander Nolan, Allison Luff. You were there.
I met Jimmy Buffett. He's so nice.
Oh.
So nice. Check out my Instagram, and there's a photo of me and him. I never thought I'd say that.
Aw, that's sweet. But more importantly, there's some gorgeous
Yeah, so
photos on the site.
we did a whole bunch of fun photos in a little palm tree setup. Caitlin was there too,
Yeah.
helping out, holding up palm leaves
Yes.
along with me.
My new like special skill.
Yeah, it was fun. And I appreciate this show. I appreciate a fun, good time on Broadway. I think that it's very different on the Broadway
It's a little
landscape.
vacay.
It's a vacay.
There you
It
go.
is a vacay. And we also have Matt Roden did a really fun red carpet challenge
Hamburger
where people had to
helper.
identify cheeseburgers. Can you identify the difference between a Whopper and a Big Mac?
More
Katie
importantly,
Finneran can.
Can Jimmy Buffett do that?
Jimmy
That's the
Buffett can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it's really fun. Check out all of our coverage and go check out the show. It's at the Marquee Theater.
All right, and next we have a new Lion King vlog from Jelani Remy.
Did you watch this? It's so good. Jelani Remy,
I haven't watched it yet.
a.k.a. Simba, is such a good vlogger. He's just so generous. They do a little happy trails to a company member that's leaving, and he goes and visits a group of kids who are doing the Lion King Jr., which is like a high school version of it, and it's so inspiring.
What's
to
the
just-
puppetry like in Lion King Jr.?
I didn't see
I
any
don't know.
puppetry, but I'm sure there must. I don't
They
know.
had a
I'm
really
sure
cute
Julie
sign.
Taymor gets involved. He's just a great guy, and he has a Disney. They call him a Disney cousin who comes. Telly Leon comes with his nephews or whatever it is. It's just really sweet. So check it
Jelani,
out.
thank you for vlogging. Keep going. We love it.
He's got one more.
Oh no, just
Yeah.
one
No,
more.
we have one more week. But we also found out today that Donna Murphy is joined a live-action Anastasia film.
Okay, let's break this down.
I got
Let's
freaked out
unpack
this
this.
morning.
We
'cause I
got freaked
saw-
out.
Right.
All right, first of all, everybody take
I
a
was
deep
like,
breath.
what Anastasia movie?
Right, exactly. This is not based on the musical.
Can we be clear that Anastasia was a non-singing movie first, like
Can we
way
be
back?
clear that
Classic
it's actually a
Hollywood.
historical figure?
Yeah.
Let's just
Oh,
start
right.
there. Let's start
There's
there.
also that. She didn't sing. Right. I don't think.
Let's go way back to 1917 or whatever it was. So yeah, it takes place in 1917. But Donna Murphy plays the new role, the made-up role of Yara the Enchantress.
So wait, here's what's confusing about this. It's a live action one, not based on the musical, but that sounds like such a musical character.
Live action. It's
It
just a
sounds
movie.
like a Disney.
Isn't
like,
everything live
random,
action?
Like,
Is this live action? I don't know. Donna Murphy's got a new gig. Good for her. We love her.
we love Donna Murphy.
All right, and finally, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child starts previews tonight.
Shut up. It does?
It does.
That's such big news. Wait a minute. They like rebuilt an entire theater for that, right? The
Correct.
Lyric. We
The
saw
Lyric
pictures of
Theater.
the Lyric today.
Can you name all the names of that theater before it was called the Lyric? Me neither. Me
wait.
neither. I can't either.
That's not the Cadillac Palace. No.
No.
That's in
The
Chicago.
Ford.
The Ford Center. That was the first one, right?
Mhm, with Ragtime.
And then it was.
I
don't
actually
know.
don't know. We don't
don't
know.
know.
Foxwoods and
Katie
other
Finneran's
stuff.
never performed there, so we don't
It
know.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But
You haven't
Harry
performed
Potter's
there? No, I don't think so. But anyway, it's a tricky theater. It's very big.
Yes,
So it's a tricky, and I remember when 42nd Street was there, the acoustics were terrible.
but it was
I'll just put it out there. So anyway, so I think they've been fixing it, and like they keep trying to
the
fix
Harry
it.
Potter actors told us on Broadway.com
Right.
that it's very intimate.
Yeah.
And that it's just gorgeous.
It looks
so
beautiful,
I'm
and it's
really-
very Harry Pottery.
And the entrance is now on 43rd Street, not on 42nd
Yes.
Street. Just so you know where to go.
But
feel like that
we're
was
just talking about the
around.
theater. But
Should
the
we
big
keep going?
news is that the show is starting tonight.
Oh, yeah. Hello.
So does that mean part one must be first?
Yes.
I would assume.
I don't know what
that
how
you
the
start
schedule
at the very
works
beginning.
out. And people must be maybe tomorrow. People are doing a marathon. Maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
First marathoners.
actually-
Anyway, Beth and I did a marathon of this in London
We
together.
did, with the original cast.
And it was right before Michael Arden and Andy Mientus got married, remember? Because
That's
they were
correct.
there.
They were in the
and they were
audience.
going to their wedding. Fun fact.
Things you don't need to know.
They might need to know that, actually. It's an amazing show. It's going to win all the awards. I'm sorry, spoiler. Spoiler for the awards season.
It's a wonderful, wonderful show. It's magical and it's moving. It's just a great cast.
and even
great
if you
direction.
don't really know the Harry Potter stuff from Harry Potter
Doesn't
stuff,
matter.
like me, I like the movies, but I don't know them. It's really entertaining, and it's fantastic. It's just great drama.
Good stuff. Hey, Paul, have a good weekend.
Sure, that's my cue. I'm gonna leave.
Subtle. I'm really subtle. Thank you for your service.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, Caitlin, want to tell us about Miss Finneran?
I would love nothing more. All right. Katie Finneran is a 2-time Tony winner for her performances in Noises Off and Promises, Promises. Her other Broadway credits include, I need to take a breath before I start this list. Okay. It's Only a Play, Annie, Marish, The Iceman Cometh, Cabaret, Proposals, The Heiress, In the Summer House, My Favorite Year, and more. She can currently be seen in Signature Theater's production of Edward Albee's At Home at the Zoo. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Beth and Katie.
Hello, Katie Finneran. That was quite a list. Thank you, Caitlin.
Welcome.
It was actually going in reverse order. It was going most recent, and then she just gave up. Because you have done so many things.
I have a fun fact about Harry Potter. One of my little orphans,
In Annie.
Brooklyn Shuck from Annie, when I was Miss Hannigan in the Annie,
Yes.
is now in Harry Potter.
Does that mean you're going to get in to see it?
It means
Bring
I'm
the
going to get
boys?
in to see it. Yeah. I know Peeps. Sonia
do know
Friedman is an
Peeps.
awesome producer, and she's putting on a great show. And I think it's going to feel intimate because they redid the entire inside.
Yes.
So I'm going to go see it, and then I'm going to come back and talk about it.
Are you going to bring your children? Or your son? Your
You know,
older son?
my son is crazy about the theater. Like he's studying all the jobs at school. He's studying like ticket takers. They're learning math through the ticket sales, and they
You can learn math.
He wants to be a
And
sound
theater
designer.
at the same time. That's great.
He met Scott Lair, and he's like, "I'm going to be a sound designer."
Oh.
Yeah. So he's designing the
so
school
good.
that the show that they wrote at their school. They went to see Hello Dolly. They went to see Donna Murphy in Hello Dolly. So
Wow.
he's very protective
First
of Donna
graders,
Murphy.
right?
Yeah, first graders. Scott Rudin paid for tickets for his entire class to go because this wonderful teacher, Brian Andes, teaches them social studies by what's in the area, and what's
That's
in the area
amazing.
is Broadway.
New York
Sorry.
City is not a bad
It's
place to grow
awesome.
up after
It's so
all.
awesome. Public school.
There you go. So, all right. Here's a show you should not bring your children to. Edward Albee's At Home at the Zoo. This is a grown-up show.
It's a grown-up show. And my friend brought their 12-year-old the other day.
What?
It's like,
This is a grown-up show in many, many ways.
We're gonna need to
It's grown-up
process.
themes and it's grown-up discussions. Okay. That's just all I want to say about that. You're so wonderful in this play.
Thank you.
Now, let's talk about it because it's two plays. You're in the first play, Home Life.
Yes. It's a play that he wrote 50 years after he wrote The Zoo Story, which made him, put him on the map, made him famous,
Right.
Edward Albee. And he thought that one of the characters was lacking. Like he just felt like we didn't know enough about Peter. So he wrote the first play 50 years later to go in tandem with.
Isn't that amazing?
know,
He
I
was such an
know.
amazing person.
Really
Did
amazing.
you ever get to work with him before
You
this?
know, it's so funny. I auditioned for him for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. And I went in and the casting director said, "Hey, Katie, we knew each other a long time. Hey, Katie, how'd you like L.A.?" And I said, "Oh, I really didn't like it." And I'm standing in front of Edward Albee getting ready to audition for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. And I said, I really didn't like it. I didn't, it was really not for me. And he stood up and he said, then why are you here? I said, what?
Wow.
He said, then why are you here? If you didn't like my play, then why are you here? I said, she asked me if I liked L.A., Los Angeles.
I want to say something about Edward Albee because the first time I ever interviewed him, I was shaking because he's a very intimidating person.
He is.
Also a little hard of hearing.
Are we looking in camera? Oh,
I am now. Hi.
Can we look in camera?
You can look anywhere you want.
I haven't been
There's
looking.
lots of cameras for you to look at.
Hi, everybody.
So
Go
with
ahead.
this
So he was
play,
very
He's very
intimidating.
intimidating and a little hard of hearing. So
Yeah,
that
okay.
combination can be tough.
Well, I see. So why are you here? I was like, to audition for Honey and your production of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. And he kept going, and then it was a great story. But then later, I was doing a play with John Guare called Bosoms of Neglect.
Yes.
And I walked into the West Bank Cafe where the party was with Jim Houghton. It was one of the first shows at Signature Theater, and where we are now.
Right.
And he led a standing ovation for me. That sounds kind of pompous for me to say that on the air.
Go ahead.
But he's gone now, and he did a beautiful thing for me. He's always been very supportive of performers and other playwrights, and I'm sorry that he couldn't see this production.
Well, this is interesting because it's the first revival after he passed away, and it's really stark and beautiful, and it's just so. There's something very enigmatic about all of Edward Albee's plays, I think, and this especially. And you're working with Lila Neugebauer, who is the IT director right now.
She's not right now. I think she's going to be the IT director for the rest of our lives.
Forever.
In her life. No, I'm not
So
kidding.
smart.
She is. She's a star, and I've never said that about a director. But she came up with ideas for us that I never would have thought of. She was so inspiring and really helped me craft a performance that was worth watching.
I was really into it. And Robert Sean Leonard, who's your scene partner, it's you have to be a little bit patient with this play. You don't know where it's going, which is part of the joy of it and the terror of it. And he seems to be right there with you.
He's, we're such old friends. We've done two other shows together, and we've known each other for about 25 years, and we're so comfortable together and really love each other so much and trust each other. So it's great to be on stage just with him.
Can we talk about your family?
Yeah,
we already did a little bit, but you have such a love story.
Yes.
With Darren Goldstein, your husband, who was just on Broadway last season.
Yes, Little Foxes.
Little Foxes.
And now he's in Atlanta shooting Ozark with Laura Linney, who he was in Little Foxes with.
So you guys, how does that work? Do you take turns?
It just works. We never know what to anticipate. You can't really plan anything. We'd love to go on another little family cruise, but we can't really buy tickets because we never know what's
You don't know what's going on.
So he's in Atlanta, and I'm happy to take plays because then at least we know where I'm going to be. We spent a couple of years in Florida when I was doing Bloodline.
Sure.
And, you never know, but we just make it work. He's a little bit more anxious about it than I am. I'm like, well, it doesn't go.
Whatever.
We'll go to Germany. So.
It's also great to see you in this play. I'm just going to keep on talking about random things because it's so serious. And both of your Tonys are for very comic roles. I mean, obviously, you've done serious things before, but this was the ultimate comic, drunken, floozy type thing that you did. It's nice to see you do something very serious.
It's fun, right? The funny thing about I always feel like it's the same thing to me. I know it sounds cheesy and corny. Nobody ever really believes me, but I always feel like it's the same process for me. It feels the same.
It's all just acting to you.
Yeah,
You're
it just
doing
feels
the thing.
like, I mean, I know it's ridiculous, some of the things that I do on stage, but it all comes from the same place. Sometimes it's just a little bit bigger, a little bit faster. But
this is slower.
So it doesn't really feel like a departure for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's a lot more language, I guess.
Yeah. All right, we have questions.
Yes.
Yes,
go.
we do.
We have questions from
Live
our
questions.
viewers.
Yes,
So
we do.
Caitlin, tell us some questions.
All right, George wants to know, do you have any favorite memories from Cabaret?
Oh, God. I loved doing that show. I wish if I had been a movie star, I would have been able to do it forever. But the famous people were coming in, and I think I was, snugged between Gina Gershon and,
There was a
Cher
it was
or something. Yeah, it was like... But,
it was a revolving door of salad bowls.
I loved. It's the closest I've ever felt to being a rock star. It was so much fun. I loved it. So I guess that I got to, inappropriately touch a lot of beautiful dancers. Yeah. And
thanks for sharing.
I just loved the costumes. I loved the lighting. I loved the story, the way it ends. I thought it was just such a touching, profound musical, and I was so happy to have been the star for a couple of weeks. Just a couple of weeks. I think it was 12 weeks. I think I was there for 12 or 16 weeks.
Yes.
That's not a couple, but okay, sure.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. I loved it. Anything more specific, I can tell you. I can't remember any of it. No lyrics, nothing. It's all gone.
It's all gone.
Wow.
That made your engineer laugh. I don't know why. Huh.
He's just tickled by you. We all are.
We all are. David has a follow-up question. What did Mr. Albee say after your Wolf audition?
I didn't get the job. I think
Well.
I think it was just such an awkward experience for everyone that I was just like, okay, so should I go after my honey? You know, honey is such a lively, funny character. It's a very sad character. But I just left and never heard again until he stood up for me like 15 years later.
But thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
beautiful
Thank you.
full circle moment, though.
Yeah, no, it was lovely. I don't know if it was 15 years later. It must have been like 8 years later or something.
Jeffrey wants to know, are you planning to see Norbert Leo Butz in My Fair Lady?
I am. He actually came with Michelle Federer, his wife, to see the show. Came backstage, and
that's nice.
I spent so much time with him on boats and like
In Isla Morada?
We played husband and wife in Bloodline, and so we were like brother and sister. And he will absolutely see everything that he does, and always had even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
He's
guys must
so watchable. Yeah, I'll see
You
him
must
do
have had
anything.
fun down there in Florida.
We really did. It was very
You were
hot.
living Margaritaville.
We were. I know. I got to go see that. It's my type. Yeah.
David wants to know, what is it like standing in front of the audience after winning a Tony?
The audience of the show that you're in, or the audience of standing there while you're getting it? You got to be more specific. I would say it's great all the way around.
Well, you
I'd
gave
say-
two wonderful speeches.
Oh, thank you.
One was all about your parents, and
Right,
one was
right.
all about your husband.
Oh yeah.
They were really.
Thank
You kept it together. You got a little emotional, which we like.
Yeah.
We like tears, don't we?
It's just such a with our community, you can look into that audience of the whatchamacallit, that theater over there. What is
Radio
it?
City.
Radio City Musical.
Sure.
And you can feel, I mean, I've been around long enough, I think 28 years now, that most of those people that are my friends. Most of them are my friends, and I know they're happy for me, and I know that they appreciate the whole cycle of working in this business, and it was great. It was great. And I know that with those two Tonys, I can at least play Medea in Poughkeepsie. You know, I'm going to get a job
Medea
somewhere
and
sometime.
Poughkeepsie, the dream, living the dream. Are you going to go see Patti LuPone and Company in London?
Absolutely. I actually didn't know that she was doing it.
Well, it's an all-female. I mean, it's a
What?
gender.
You're kidding.
Gender bender.
Who's playing Amy? I want to. Pardon me, is everybody there? Because everybody's there. I want to think. I can do.
You know what? That's how I hear the lyrics, too.
Everyone is there. I don't know if it works with an accent though.
Yeah,
Thank
is
you
it going to be?
for the gifts and the flowers. Thank you. All goes back to the flowers. They're not doing an accent, are they?
Just keep going. Just keep going.
And
And
I said, "Paul, would I tell you today? Go, can't you go? Why is nobody listening?"
This is
sounds pretty
amazing.
good, right?
Yeah, it sounds
Fine,
good.
And you cry of another fantasy. Yeah.
It's like Mary Poppins meets Amy a little bit. I like
Yeah, a little
it.
bit. Julie Andrews.
A little bit.
Yeah.
David wants to know, what character that you've played has stretched you the most?
Oh.
This
good
one, I would
question.
say. I would say this one is the most similar to my own emotional life and my own life as a grown woman. And this one, I think, is about doing less and being truthful and kind of naked without a lot of costumes.
Yeah, there's
or-
like almost no set.
literally
Very simple costumes.
Yeah, I got no shoes on. I don't have any sleeves. I have no furniture. No furniture. Just. And Robert Shawn gets to sit, but I don't get to sit. So,
Obviously
I'd say
jealous
this
of the
one-
sitting. He gets a book.
So jealous. I was like, where are the props? No props.
No props. And final question, do you have any words of wisdom that you have learned from working with Patti LuPone?
Yes, I love Patti LuPone. Just gives it to you straight. She is such a professional. She's so much fun, and she says exactly what she thinks. And she loves to do things, everyone to do their job to the best of their ability. And if she sees a little bit of slacking, she'll say, no, everybody does the rest. You know, where I sort of phrase things in a lovely way or a comedic way, she gives it to you straight. And I always love knowing exactly where someone's coming from. And I just love her. Was she just on or something? Are we like Patti LuPone?
We just love
just
Patty.
love
I'm
Patti
going to go
LuPone.
see her in
Work with
London.
her.
I'm going to go
God.
see Laura Linney in London. Laura Linney's going to do a one-woman show in London. So I'm going to go and see her, and I'm hoping it's on at the same time.
It's all next year. I
Because
don't know.
I'll have to
in
call
the
Patty
next
and
couple
stay with
months.
her.
It's all.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh, stay with Patty.
She's
cook for you.
She's incredible. You should read her book. She's an
Her book
incredible
is
woman.
great.
But she is like there's not a mean bone in her body, but she will tell you exactly what she's thinking and what's best for the show and what's best for the performance.
We've worked with so many great people. And Noises Off alone was just filled with
It
stars.
was. And it was such a weird time because it was 9/11.
Yeah.
And everybody was got a little wiggy because we had like anthrax in our mail, and it was a really crazy time. But what a gift that we could give an audience with unambiguous humor. With Cactus in the Ass is always funny, whether you're getting blown up or not. It's like Cactus in the Ass, and tripping and falling and bumping your head is always funny.
It always works.
It always works.
Katie Finneran, thank you so much for
Thank you,
coming
Beth.
over here.
Yeah,
I love you
anytime.
so much. Caitlin, will you take us out?
I'd love to.
And everyone, happy Friday, happy weekend.
Oh, it's Leprechaun Day tomorrow. My kids are home making a leprechaun trap.
Whoa.
So make your
Wow,
traps.
maybe they'll catch one.
Yeah, I think they will.
If so, bring it here. We want to see it.
Always good theater. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. You can watch Live at 5 every weekday live right here on our Facebook page. Or if you're a fan of podcasts, you can subscribe to our Live at 5 podcast wherever you listen. Join us next week as we chat with stars from School of Rock, Anastasia, The Band's Visit, and more. Have a good weekend, everyone.